TRS Clips, the place you arrive at if you just want the best bits of India's smartest podcast, The Ranveer Show. Subscribe, hit that bell icon.
Media is extraordinarily powerful. It is what helps whoever is in power control the thoughts, feelings, and ideas and emotions of people, and the perceptions and the worldview of people. So if you control the media, you can make people believe whatever you want them to believe.
Which is why Zelensky's image was whitewashed this much, according to you?
Well, Zelensky is an interesting individual. He is of Jewish origin. He is the president of a country where Nazis have free run, neo-Nazis. I mean, the Ukraine has a Nazi history.
Give some backstory also.
Well, if you look at the various atrocities that took place against Jews in that part of the world during World War II, there was a lot of it coming from the grassroots in Ukraine. The people and the political leaders. There was this guy called Stefan Bandera, who was a very virulent Nazi. Today, he's one of the national heroes in Ukraine. And even today, you have this Azov regiment, the Azov regiment, which is essentially a neo-Nazi regiment. They have these Nazi tattoos and all that. And they are fighting, they are involved in the conflict. The Russians want to destroy them. And this guy Zelensky, he's a Jew and he is supporting Nazis who massacred his own people. In his address to the Greek parliament, Zelensky brought with him a neo-Nazi, a member of the Azov brigade, I believe. So that's the situation there in Ukraine. It's so strange that a Jewish person would actually promote Nazi people. But that's how it is.
Yeah, you know what I found strange about this whole Zelensky narrative online is that it was too whitewashed. Like that they were just talking about the good shit about him. And every leader, including Barack Obama, including like the most iconic leaders in history, have a dark side. It is the nature of leadership. It is the nature of politics. No one can be completely whitewashed. And you are seeing YouTube videos, Instagram memes, Reddit articles about how awesome Zelensky is. But there has to be some sort of a dark side. At least a bit. At least something wrong that he's done. He can't be a perfect leader. Which got me thinking that, okay, let's question the situation. And in no way is me defending Putin. Like everyone knows Putin's dark sides very openly. I've met Russian people, spoken to them. Even they have like grey opinions about him. But at least it's more real than whitewashing someone entirely.
Putin is real. We know his dark side. We know he's a dictator. We know he's authoritarian. We know everything about him. It's been discussed ad nauseum in the media. Zelensky, they've created this brand. There's this brand building exercise going on right now.
Right.
Zelensky.
That he stood in the middle of Kiev. He escaped Russian. There's so many stories.
Yes.
I like the story about the Russian fighter jet. They call it Russian. The
ghost of
Ukrainian fighter jet.
Yeah. It turned out to be fake news.
That's what there's so much branding. There's so much storytelling happening from the Ukrainian side. What about the Russian side?
It's been blanked out. It's been blanked out totally.
Except in Russia, where it's whitewashed for them.
Well, they have to put something out. But what's happened is that on social media, which is all controlled in the US, all these Russian channels and Russian handles have been banned. So there's only one narrative being spread right now. So that's what we're watching. It's the disinformation or brand building in real time.
Can I give a deeper brand building angle here? Because I come from the world of brands, human beings, and I'm not talking about the so-called intellectual human beings or the upper classes, the general masses can never relate to concepts or non-living objects, but they can always relate to people. Zelensky is now synonymous with Ukraine. When you think of Zelensky, you'll think of Ukraine.
Yes.
If Zelensky is a hero as a brand, Ukraine becomes the hero brand and Russia becomes the obvious villain. The world can't understand grey. They can only understand villains and heroes.
Yes.
So you're painting Ukraine as a hero, an underdog hero, and the coach in the Ukraine corner is Big Daddy USA.
Yes.
So you're trying to project USA as the big protector, etc. That's the actual brand building that's going on here in terms of maybe the actual war is obviously happening between USA and Russia and everyone knows that. But it's this whole branding of Zelensky is happening from a perspective of, again, rebranding USA as the forefront of the world, because I think the whole Trump situation affected the branding of USA all over the world, amongst other things. In terms of there is this kind of worldwide sort of little bit of hate that's begun against USA for being overly material, for affecting the environment in the way it does. Could this be an angle?
Certainly. Right now, what we are witnessing is that the world is now beginning to see through all the lies and disinformation. The US has been orchestrating coups all across the world. All of that has come out in black and white now. The entire list is available on social media anytime you like, anytime you want to see. There is this conflict going on in Yemen that they are engineering, and so much else going on. They talk about a rules-based world order. They flout the rules anytime they feel like. So now people are beginning to see the hypocrisy and the lies. And what the Americans are trying to do is they are trying to position themselves as the good guys, as always, and the Russians are the bad guys. And Zelensky is this Che Guevara-like figure, right? They are trying to position him in that sort of manner. So that's what they're doing. And it's very easy to sway people's opinions. When you have an underdog who is under siege and who is standing bravely, people want to root for the underdog. It's always that way.
Psychological.
Yeah, psychologically.
David and Goliath.
That sort of thing, yes.
Wow. Little quick anecdote on Che Guevara. I mean, for people who have never heard of it.
So Che Guevara was this Marxist guerrilla who fought in Cuba, who fought in South America. He fought on the side of Fidel Castro, who became the authoritarian leader of Cuba, who ruled for many decades when Cuba was under US sanctions. It still is, actually. And we see him, the world sees him as a great rebel and a great freedom fighter, but he had a very dark side. He took part in massacres and summary executions of people and all that. He was a very cruel person. Eventually, he went down south to Latin America, and he tried to foment other Marxist revolutions over there. Eventually, he was hunted down and executed by certain forces that were allied with the US. But we see him as the guy in the poster. The guy with the wild hair, the Motorcycle Diaries, and that very famous poster that we have everywhere of Che Guevara. It's on t-shirts, it's on walls everywhere. So people remember iconic images, and that's what they've created out of him. So that is a little bit about Che Guevara.
Illuminati, man. This is the Freemasons at work again.